All right, let me get into my bag of topics right here. Let's see. Donald Trump. Oh man, I'm not talking about that idiot. Let me see. Kanye tweeting. Man, we don't talk about whack ass celebrities on this channel. Oh, Brooklyn. Yeah, we're gonna discuss this right here. Welcome back to another episode of Social Climate. I am your host, Billy Cash. Shout out to all the new subscribers, fam. Shout out to that notification click that hit the like button before the video even starts. And today, on this episode right here, oh man, we're talking about bad teachers. Now, we already know that teachers are underpaid in America. And you can see that by protests that's going on all around the nation. But on this episode, I'm talking about a teacher who was given a $100,000 fellowship grant by the Math Academy. And all he wants to do is try to have sex with little boys. Social Climate, let's get it. This podcast is brought to you by niggas who are generally concerned with most of the dumb shit that's going on right now. By the way, I'm your host, Billy Cash, aka Cole, and welcome to Social Climate. Socialites, let me tell you who you're looking at. You're looking at 34-year-old Andre Braddy, a highly decorated math teacher. He was a mathlete. He was a mastermind. He was a genius when it came to math. He even got a $100,000 grant from Math for America, a highly trusted member of the community. The community fell in outrage when they found out that he was having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old boy. Your grandparents always told you, whatever's done in the dark will come to the light, and this one surely came to the light. Now, there's an ongoing investigation about him because they're trying to see if there's any other students that he had some type of sexual relationship with. This is crazy. You always trust your teachers to be the guidance for young minds, but apparently he was guiding himself to a young behind. Look, I got some audio on this, and I'm coming back. Social Climate.
Right now, a 34-year-old teacher in Brooklyn is awaiting arraignment on charges that he had sex with a 15-year-old student. As Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles has learned, text messages sent between the two are part of this case. Darla is live at the courthouse in downtown Brooklyn. Good evening.
Good evening, Michelle. That's right. 34-year-old Andre Braddy should be arraigned at some point this evening. He faces multiple sex abuse charges with one of his own students. What a stark contrast. One headline of Andrew Braddy winning a $100,000 math graduate fellowship to CUNY. The other of a 34-year-old teacher arrested for having sex in a middle school bathroom with a 15-year-old boy.
On Wednesday, April 25th, yesterday, it was brought to our attention of some sexually explicit text messages between a teacher and a student. Brought to our attention, our Special Victims Division immediately got involved.
Investigators say the abuse took place over the course of a month at PS 235 Linux Academy in Canarsie, where Braddy has been a math and advanced algebra teacher since 2015.
When you have the individual in this case brought in with his mother, two special victims, I'm not going to talk too much about the victim in this case, but case is currently closed, and we're exploring whether there are other victims in this case.
Prior to his arrest, Braddy has had a stellar career as an educator, teaching at CUNY after finishing his master's and working with the Frank Ragland Math Masters Institute. And that is what parents say was the kind of teacher they wanted for their kids. Not this.
I think it was disgraceful. I think it's also appalling that nobody contacted us and said anything to us about it.
Now, the DOE did immediately remove Braddy from the classroom upon his arrest. And as you heard, the NYPD, they have this case, but they are now actively looking for more victims. So if you know anybody who may have been impacted, please contact police.
This story is so disappointing on so many different levels because you have a 34-year-old educator, Andre Braddy, who takes advantage of a 14-year-old student. Now, the student had to be a willing participant, but at the same time, you got to look at the age. 14, be it boy or girl, their mind is not strong enough to handle the manipulation of a grown-up. And I hate to think about the salacious text messages that went on between these two that the parents had to find out about. That had to be a terrible shock to see what this grown man is texting my 14-year-old son. So I'm going to say prayers up to that family for what they're going through or what they had to go through. And what's even more disappointing is Andre Braddy graduating from CUNY, the City University of New York, with a PhD. In his time of black empowerment, black businesses, banking black, this boy had a voice that could have been validated, could have been powerful. Not to say that my voice doesn't have validation, but he got the paperwork to go with it. That goes a long way on the world stage. And now someone who could have been a leader in his community, maybe even nationally, is silenced because you couldn't resist your sexual urges. Shit is disgusting, man. Shit is disgusting. The nigga is worse than Kanye right now, to me, you know. But as always, be careful and stay prayerful. It's Billy Cash, Social Climate. I'm out. Click like and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button. Yeah.